Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Kate and Eric Show podcast. So today is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day. Hopefully, you have done something great or going to do something great for your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. So hopefully, you're doing something great and fun. We were just hanging out here. Wife doesn't feel very great, so we're going to do something next week. But happy Valentine's Day, the day of love. Well, welcome to the show. What a crazy week this has been. There's the major interview with Vladimir Putin from Tucker Carlson, which was great. Hopefully, you've had a chance to watch that. I've got clips of that coming up here, and then obviously the special counsel Robert Hurr report came out, and Biden is fit as a fiddle, according to him. Yeah, he's fit as a fiddle. Sure, if your fiddle is falling apart and decrepit and rotting, but yeah, he's sharp as a tack, fit as a fiddle. So there's that to get to. Of course, there's sports and everything else. So welcome to the show. You can also find me on some of my other social medias, um, TikTok, Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube, and Truth Social. Kate and Eric Show on all of those. So please like, subscribe, follow, and share. That would be great. Then more people can see it. And welcome to the show. Welcome any new listeners. Obviously, the ones that continue to listen. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So sports news. The Taylor Bowl went. I hated it. I hated it. There weren't really a whole lot of like funny ads. There was a couple. I liked the Dunkin' Donuts ad. That was kind of funny, and then the MGM one with Tom Brady saying, "Oh, Tom, you have enough. You have enough success." So in the Dunkin' Donuts, if you haven't seen it, is with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, and then Tom Brady's also in that one as well. So they were pretty good. The halftime show was okay, I guess. I'm a big Usher fan, and then the game was crap. So the script worked. The Taylor got her Swifty bowl and a ring. The NFL got their shot with Mr. Angerman, Travis Kelce. If you didn't see the clips by now, he goes up and checks hockey checks Andy Reid, who's 65. After they fumbled the ball and was screaming in his face, and so then he later on he's come out like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I love Big Red. I'm sorry for that. I didn't, it's just the heat of the game and the passion of the game." Sure, yeah, you've also thrown your helmet, done all kinds of other, childish temper tantrums this season, but yeah, it's over. So, I seriously was hoping the Niners were going to win that game, but no, they did not. In absence, I saw today they have fired their DC, the defensive coordinator. So we'll be searching for a new one of those this offseason. But yeah, the Super Bowl did not go the way I wanted it to. It was just awful. And of course, they showed Taylor Swift like 10, 20, 30 times, whatever it was. Then also other news. With her, there was the what's her face called, Ice Spice. I don't know, I've never heard of her either, but she was in the booth with Taylor, and she was throwing up some devil signs. So that's just great. And Pat McAfee, if you're not aware of who he is, he used to play in the NFL. I kind of like him. He's great with College Game Day. And I don't really listen to his show though, but there, I see clips every now and then. Yeah, so he commented on it, and I just thought it was a little weird, interesting what he had to say. But this is what was said there.
Ice Spice was throwing up some hand motions, though. Although we were kind of trapped with the Taylor Swift booze chuck, which I certainly was. When that made its way on the internet, I'm like, yeah, we love this. She is a beast. They're saying Ice Spice throwing up devil horns. No. Jason Kelsey's in overalls right behind Taylor. I mean, there's a lot to take in here, but the thing that I would like to focus on, Taylor Swift chucking her booze in front of everybody. Welcome to football.
Okay, so we got devil signs, and then she was apparently wearing an upside down cross and then choking herself. The Ice Spice, obviously not Taylor Swift. with the upside down cross necklace. But yeah, let's focus on Taylor Swift chugging a beer. She's a beast. So that's great. It's just gloss over the fact that there's possible devil worship there at the Super Bowl, just broadcast for everybody to see. So yeah, crappy game, crappy everything. So baseball has started. Pitchers and catchers have reported, so that's awesome. Let's move on to baseball. So yeah, there's that. We got college baseball starting. College softball has started. So it's just a great time of the year, actually. A great time of the year. But let's just kind of go over the lovely Biden clips here. Let's do some of those since we're talking sports here. This is what he had to say. This little ad prior to the game.
Well, Sunday, if you're anything like me, you like to be surrounded by a snack or two while watching the big game. You know, when buying snacks for the game, you might have noticed one thing. Sports drinks bottles are smaller. A bag of chips has fewer chips, but they're still charging you just as much. And as an ice cream lover, what makes me the most angry is that ice cream cartons have actually shrunk in size, but not in price. I've had enough of what they call shrinkflation. It's a ripoff. Some companies are trying to pull a fast one by shrinking the products little by little and hoping you won't notice. Give me a break. The American public is tired of being played for suckers. I'm calling on companies to put a stop to this. Let's make sure businesses do the right thing now.
So it's a little ad there from the White House. I mean, are they just plain like, oh, they're just out of touch. Sure. The whole reason that things are super expensive is not because companies are raising their price. I mean, they're having to raise their prices, obviously. But they're doing so because you're the one to blame there, buddy. Yeah, with your inflation and the destruction of our economy, yeah, that's the reason they're doing that. Not because they're just doing it just for fun, just to piss us off. I mean, it's just completely out of touch, unaware of this just stupidity. But apparently the White House now has or Biden does, he has a TikTok account, and apparently that was against the law or forbidden for any federal employee to have a TikTok account because of the connection with the Chinese. But they made one anyway. So here's his stupid little TikTok.
Two great quarterbacks, hard to decide. But if I didn't say I was for the Eagles, then I'd be sleeping alone. My wife's a Philly girl.
Game or commercials?
Game.
Game or halftime show?
Game.
Jason Kelsey or Travis Kelsey?
Mama cuts her station makes great chocolate chip cookies.
Deviously plotting to rig the season so the Chiefs would make the Super Bowl, or the Chiefs just being a good football team?
You get in trouble if I told you.
Trump or Biden?
Are you kidding? Biden.
That would have been awesome if it said Trump. But interesting though that after the game was over, he did tweet out, or well, he didn't do it because obviously he's not doing any of it. But the staff there at the White House posted a picture of it worked, and it was him with red eyes that it worked. So, and I've heard here that of course the Chiefs are welcome to the White House to see him, and if the Chiefs put out a invite for Taylor Swift, she's welcome too. So there's 100 conspiracy things that you could sit there and go after with this, but because there's also part of her followers that will vote however she tells them to. So interesting, was it all scripted so that they would win, and then they can have Taylor Swift come to the White House, and then be all chummy at the White House, and then she'll tell her followers, "Hey, look at this. Joe Biden's not that bad. It's really not that bad here in the United States of America. It's not that bad here in America. Yeah, we need to have 4 more years of Joe Biden. Yes, let's have 4 more years of this guy. Come on, vote for Biden." So, just interesting. I mean, would anybody be surprised if that happened? where she came out and totally supported him and said so, and they did this whole big thing. So I wouldn't really be surprised at all. Actually, since 4 years ago, she made little cookies, and there's a picture of her with Biden cookies 2020. So that's awesome. So you got Mr. Pfizer, who's apparently got some massive anger management issues going on, and then you got her. So just more pawns of the system, apparently. So yeah, that's just lovely. But another sad news today, I did see that the parade for the Kansas City Chiefs was not so happy because there was an active shooter, and of course you got the people. What I saw with the most recent report was one person was dead, but a bunch of actual heroes tackled the guy, and so there wasn't any more loss of life. So I think they've got the guy, but just horrific news. And of course, you get the liberal pundits out there saying blaming the guns, blaming the Republicans, blah 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 blah. When it doesn't have anything to do with the guns, it has to do with the mental state of people and the spiritual state of the country, and we aren't on the right track with either of those things. So where devil horns have flashed at the Super Bowl, and it's not a big deal. Taylor Swift's a beast for chugging a beer. But so let's continue to blame the guns, and they'll try to get rid of guns, and just sad news. Hopefully, whatever's the matter with this guy. There was another shooter, I think, this week, but like always, or recently anyway, it was identified as non-binary, trans, whatever it is. Just some massive mental illness what's going on here, and apparently that's okay, and we can just gloss over that, but and go after the inanimate objects that don't have anything to do with what's going on. So yeah, just prayers for everything happening in Kansas City with their Swift Bowl there. But so it's kind of the sports update. Yes, baseball has started, so it's a great time of year, and it lasts until November. At least for the Astros here recently, the last 7 years, it has lasted until November. But I want to get into because there's the big thing with the interview with Putin by Tucker Carlson, and I wanted to have my brother on for this week, but just because it's Valentine's, it's got to take my sister-in-law out. I got to do something romantic. It just didn't work out with work as well. So because the reason I wanted to have him on, and he'll be on next week, is because he lived in Finland for 2 years, and he has an interesting perspective on Putin and what the Finnish people think. He ran into Russians, Swedes, Norwegians, apparently, I think. So I'll have him next week, so look forward to that. Just ask him kind of what the people think there, what they think of Putin, and then all of that. So let's just since I'm talking about it right now, let's just get into this interview. If you have not watched it, please do. I have reposted it on my X account, Kate and Eric Show. It is on there. It's almost 2 hours and 8 minutes. And I thought, me and my wife watched it, and I thought it was really well done. It was very interesting to learn from a Russian's perspective on what has kind of happened throughout, the last 30, 40, 50 years of world politics and things. It was started out where Putin gives like a 30-minute history lesson with exact dates, exact names of how Russia started, and Tucker Carlson was like, okay, are we doing this here? What's going on? He was getting a little annoyed, but actually, first, let me share this of how this whole thing kind of came to be with him, because apparently this was a 3-year in the making interview. So let me get that done first.
Trying for 3 years to do this interview, the U.S. government prevented me from doing it by spying on my text messages and leaking them to the New York Times, and that spooked the Russian government into canceling the interview. So I've been trying to do this, but my country's intel services were working against me illegally, and that enraged me because I'm an American American citizen. I'm 54. I pay my taxes. I obey the law. And there was no expectation in the America that I grew up in that my government and its intel services, NSA and CIA, which were always outwardly focused on our foreign enemies, would be turned inward against American citizens. And I'm shocked by that, and I'm infuriated by that. And so once I discovered that that was happening, and I confirmed it was happening, and they admitted that they did it, then I was totally determined, monomaniacally dedicated to doing this interview, not simply because I want to know what Vladimir Putin is like and what he thinks about a war that is resetting the world and really gravely damaging my country's economy, but also because they told me I couldn't on the basis of illegitimate means.
So that's interesting. He looks pretty good for 54. I was not expecting to say he was 54, but he looks pretty good. So yeah, this is apparently, it's just, is anybody surprised that the government, our own government, is spying on our own citizens? Yeah, you've got, then you got the liberal media out there, reaming him, and then I'll get to the clips of him with Putin here in a second, but just wanted to go over what these idiots from the fake news media said.
Tucker Carlson, and he is the only American journalist who has been able to interview Putin since the invasion in 2022.
Tucker Carlson is not a journalist, not even close.
Kind of just walks right into Moscow and presents himself on a silver platter to the Kremlin, doing the Kremlin's job of misinforming, disinforming the American population.
His explanation of why he's doing it, that he's a journalist and he needs to inform people, he can call himself whatever he wants. I think his work is demonstrable as not being just about giving people information. He has a point of view, and often it's not aligned with the facts.
Putin talks to an American friend. The Russian president turning to
American friend?
Tucker Carlson.
Oh my gosh.
Kremlin propagandist Tucker Carlson, a leading voice of the right-wing disinformation campaign, is in Moscow. Ironically, he is there in the name of keeping Americans informed, sitting down for an interview with Vladimir Putin.
Tucker Carlson is neither a journalist nor a reporter, but he has played one on TV.
Tucker Carlson still doesn't have a job. He's in Moscow house hunting, I hope. But no, actually, Tucker is there to interview Vladimir
That's so
Putin,
funny.
which is so overtly ridiculous.
Tucker Carlson interviewing Vladimir Putin may not be mean much to you, but for Trump, this is like watching OnlyFans.
Jeez Louise. Oh, man. That is just horrendous. So apparently he's not a real journalist because, he doesn't follow their little plan, and he doesn't, he's not lockstep and key with the little agendas of destroying America and making America last from these disgusting people. So yeah, that's kind of what they thought of him. But just these people are just insane. But here's some clips of the interview itself, and I wanted to get to that. So here we go.
The last time you spoke to Joe Biden, I cannot remember when I talked to him. I do not remember.
You don't remember?
No. Do I have to remember everything? I have my own things to do. We have domestic political affairs. Well, he's funding the war that you're fighting, so I would think that would be memorable. Well, yes, he funds, but I talked to him before the special military operation, of course. And I said to him then, by the way, I believe that you are making a huge mistake of historic proportions by supporting everything that is happening there in Ukraine by pushing Russia away. I told him repeatedly, by the way. What did he say? Ask him, please. It is easier for you. You are a citizen of the United States. Go and ask him. It is not appropriate for me to comment on our conversation. But you haven't spoken to him since before February of 2022? No, we haven't spoken.
So they haven't spoken. He hasn't spoken to him in 2 years now. So that's awesome. Good. But let's play this other clip here.
Last question, and that's about Evan Gershkovich, who's the Wall Street Journal reporter. He's 32, and he's been in prison for almost a year. And I just want to ask you directly, if as a sign of your decency, you you'll be willing to release him to us and we'll bring him back to the United States.
We have done so many gestures of goodwill out of decency that I think we have run out of them. We have never seen anyone reciprocate to us in a similar manner. However, in theory, we can say that we do not rule out that we can do that if our partners take reciprocal steps.
What makes this different is the guy's obviously not a spy. He's a kid. And maybe he was breaking your law in some way, but he's not a super spy. And everybody knows that. And he's being held hostage in exchange, which is true. With respect, it's true. And everyone knows it's true. So maybe he's in a different category. Maybe it's not fair to ask for somebody else in exchange for letting him out. Maybe it degrades Russia to do that.
He was receiving classified, confidential information, and he did it covertly.
He's a 32-year-old. Like most people.
He committed something different. He's not just a journalist. I reiterate, he's a journalist who was secretly getting confidential information. I do not rule out that the person you refer to, Mr. Gershkovitz, may return to his motherland. By the end of the day, it does not make any sense to keep him in prison in Russia.
I hope you let him out.
So yeah, Putin just kind of reiterated that. He was a journalist. Got some secret or classified documents or information, and so they have him in prison. But so the interview started off with him talking. That was toward the end of the interview, and then there was the other clip was probably the middle. But he went on to give like I said, like a 30-minute history lesson of Russia. Apparently, Russia's founded in 862. So they've been around for 1,000 years. Well over 1,000 years now, and they kind of all were just together, that whole region, including Ukraine and all the other countries there. So Putin goes on and he says basically that they're all kind of one big family. There was no difference in, really language or culture or religion. They were all the same. And then, Tucker asks him, so why did you decide to attack? And Putin goes into the facts that there was, he blames the United States and the CIA, I guess specifically, for there was uprising in 2014. We had, NATO was building bases close to their border, so they were getting nervous, and so they were going back to take over and stop further invasion. He also went into talking about the Nazis, get rid of, Nazism, which I don't, how do you do that in another country? Don't know about that. I don't know how you do that. Tucker asked, because I guess Chuck Schumer said there's, there could be a possibility down the road of American troops fighting Russian troops. And Putin, which I can't agree with him on this, but he was like, "Why would you do that? You've got massive border problems, you got massive inflations. You don't have anything better to do than to come fight us." So which, hello, perfect example, great. Yeah, we've got our own border, we've got our own problems. We've got to fix all that crap first before. And quite frankly, let's just pull all of our guys home wherever they are around the world. Get all our equipment and people home. Why are we out there anyway? It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. Let's just pull our guys home and defend our border. Which here recently, with the war and everything, the Senate voted overwhelmingly Super Bowl Sunday or early Monday morning, 70 to 29 to give something like, I don't know, it was like almost 100 billion in foreign aid. 60, of course, has got to go to Ukraine. But not a single billion, not a single million, not a single cent of their ridiculous bill would be going to our own border and our own security. But we got to funnel and ship all of our money across the world and defend other people's borders, but ours can be left wide open. There was Mitt Romney on the House floor or the Senate floor saying that this is going to be the most important vote of the Senate ever. Just like, hello, no, it's not. We don't need to be sending tens of billions of dollars to foreign nations when our own border is wide open and we've had, 12 million people pour across our border in a matter of 3 years. No. Sorry there, Mitt, but no. So, but Speaker Johnson has said that that bill that the Senate passed will be dead upon arrival in the House of Representatives. So it will not move forward, and we will not be shelling out tens of billions of dollars, quite frankly, that we do not have, first of all, to anybody. Yeah, because we got to fix our own problems here first before we start sending out money to other people. Sorry, but that's kind of the situation that we're in here right now. So the Putin interview I thought was done very well. He said he's ready to come to peace terms. He said that they're, I don't know, like a year and a half ago they were ready, but the former, his name's out of my head right now, the former British Prime Minister, the guy with the crazy blonde hair, I forget his name. I guess he's the reason that there's no peace because he threw a monkey wrench into it, convinced them not to do anything. I guess, quite frankly, Biden still hasn't spoken to him. Tucker was like, well, why don't you reach out to Biden? Why don't you reach out and end this thing? Why don't you reach out to Zelensky and talk to him? He's like, well, said it's basically the ball's in their court. We've done everything that we possibly could to end it, but they just don't want to. So yeah, it was very interesting. I thought, listening to him from like a Russian perspective, what has kind of happened, especially during the Cold War, the end of World War II, like he did like the 1,000-year history of Russia, that they were all kind of one people. And, another interesting thing that he said, that after the end of the Cold War, this is all, according to his perspective. So, I'm not like a huge Putin fan or anything, but it was very interesting to listen to. He was basically saying that, at the end of the Cold War, the reason that the Russians did it is they wanted to get in, and kind of be buddies with Europe and America, and that, we could all just be one big global happy family. But that didn't really go so well. He talked to, Putin when he was, president. I guess he's been president for a long time. But, he talked to Clinton. Hey, Putin was like, hey, Clinton, can we be part of NATO? And, Clinton was like, sure, let me talk to my team and, we'll get back to you on that. And then I guess Clinton would talk to whoever he talked to. And Clinton was like, yeah, no, sorry. You're not coming into NATO. And then when we started developing our missile defense system, he wanted to, he was like, hey, why don't us and Europe and you guys, speaking of the U.S., all kind of get together and collaborate on this big, massive missile defense system for the global good and blah, blah, blah. And then, he says that we were like, no, sorry, you're not going to be involved in that. So then he went on to say that, they developed their own. The way he was like, it's far superior. We've got hypersonic missiles or hypersonic whatever it is that they have that's apparently better than our missile defense systems and things. So I thought overall it was very well. It was very good. It's a big chunk of time to sit down and watch it. About 2 hours, but well worth it though. Well worth it. I kind of have developed a bit of a, kind of some sympathy or just a little different understanding of kind of what they went through, because obviously, we just have what we've gone through here and what we've been taught. There's something funny to say though about World War II. Because obviously we go World War II here in America, or in England and things, but he called it the Great Patriotic War. So just interesting. But yeah, well worth it. It's on, like I said, the Kate and Eric show, or not Twitter anymore, but X. I have it posted on there that you can go and watch that. So, and then, like I said, I'll have my brother on next week, and we'll kind of get into, his perspective of living in Finland and what the Finnish people thought and think of Putin. So we'll get into that next week. So stay tuned for that. And come back next week. It'll have something to look forward to. So let's get into this special report by Robert Hurr. Okay, that came out the same day that the Tucker Carlson interview happened, and it was very, very eye-opening. But for Biden anyway, they completely did trying to do damage control. It came out that he had classified documents in his garage there, which is a shocker. I thought that was all just Trump doing that. Trump's the only one that had these classified documents that he wasn't supposed to have, but apparently Biden did as well, and everybody knows it. And it's he's apparently too old and too feeble and too just an old man that he can't stand trial for those things. But then he can. So he's not fit to stand trial because a jury will never convict him, but then he's fit to still be the president of the United States. No. It's either one of, you can't have it both ways here. He can't be president and not stand trial. It's just ridiculous. So part of the report here said, in his interview with our office, Mr. Biden's memory was worse. Oh, shocker. He did not remember when he was vice president, forgetting on the day of the interview when his term ended, if it was 2013. Oh, wait, this is a quote from him, so sorry, I have to get the voice right. If it was 2013, when did I stop being vice president? And forgetting on the second day of the interview when his term began. In 2009, am I still vice president? He did not remember within several years when his son Beau died. I mean, he's the one that he always talks about, and I feel absolutely bad that he's lost his son. I couldn't imagine losing a child. That would be absolutely horrible to go through. So I do have sympathy for him on that. But he's he's always out there saying that Beau died in Iraq and this and that when he's talking to the troops or talking to anybody who's a veteran, when in fact that's a lie. He did not die in Iraq. He went there, but he didn't die because of that. So the report goes on and says, and his memory appeared hazy when describing the Afghanistan debate. Gosh, that was so important to him. Do you remember that when he first got into office? That horrific pullout just left tens of millions of dollars worth of equipment, ammunition, medical supplies, just technology, just left it there. Left all our Afghan allies. You had the people clamoring to the airport, holding onto the side of the airplane like Mission Impossible, trying to escape their country. And then we come to find out that a lot of those people that helped us, that were Afghans in the Afghan war, they've been killed by the Taliban. So apparently he forgot that. Let's see. Among other things, he mistakenly said he had a real difference of opinion with General Carl, the font is really small, Ickenberry, when in fact Ickenberry was an ally whom Mr. Biden cited approving in his Thanksgiving memo to President Obama. In a case where the government must prove that Mr. Biden knew he had possession of the classified Afghan documents after the vice presidency and chose to keep those documents knowing he was in violation of the law, we expect that at trial his attorneys would emphasize these limitations in his recall. So apparently he's too feeble, he's too frail to stand trial, even though, there's pictures I posted on my social medias of the different pictures, and the boxes are falling apart, just in the garage, open, like you would expect in your own garage, boxes and things that you sort of care about, but they're just kind of there. That's kind of what these boxes look like, and stuff around it. Not in a secure place. Like where Trump had everything. Everything was insecure, and it was housed surrounded by Secret Service and things. But no, it's just hanging out in his garage with ripped up, torn up boxes, and there's no lids. It's not secure like he claimed there was. Biden claimed that they were secure. But they were just wide open. The papers were there, wide open. You just walk by, grab a paper, and leave. So but there's no trial. There's no charges. There's no nothing. But we have to go after Trump though for doing, having it at his house, and he was raided and everything like that. But there's no raid. There's no anything but FBI. But just hello, double standard. Two-tiered justice system. One was the actual president, and one was just a senator and vice president. So they're not the same. But apparently, if you're a Biden, you're way above the former president, and it doesn't matter. So he came out, and the White House is trying to do damage control with this. And I don't think did a very good job. So here's a whole bunch of clips of him with the reporters and them asking him what his mental capabilities are, quite frankly, if he's stupid or not, which I would assume yes. A quote here from President Trump is, "I am covered by the Presidential Records Act." He wasn't. He had many, many times more documents. Totally unguarded. Mine were always surrounded by Secret Service in locked rooms. So, Biden's were just hanging out in the garage, rotting in boxes, for anyone and everyone who decided to go in there to see. But this is kind of what they had to say about that.
Well, initially, the president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow.
Oh, hold on. Well, here we go. Here's a senile moment. But this one, that's not the one I was wanting. But I'll get to that one here in a minute.
Though there's some attention paid to some language in the report about my recollection of events. There's even reference that I don't remember when my son died. How in the hell dare he raise that? Frankly, when I was asked the question, I thought to myself, was it any of their damn business? Let me tell you something. Some of you have commented, I wear since the day he died, every single day, the rosary he got from Our Lady of...
Lady of who?
Every Memorial Day we hold a service remembering him, attended by friends and family and the people who loved him. I don't need anyone to remind me when he passed away.
So obviously he's getting angry, but he can't remember the rosary. The Lady of what? Lady of who? It's just Lady of, and then he just goes on a Memorial Day. And now, like I said, I absolutely feel bad for him for losing, for him losing his son. I would not be able to handle that. That's, that would be something awful. And for those that have, my thoughts and prayers go out to that. But this was he can't remember what the rosary was. The Lady of what? That's just one little example. So then reporters asked him what, obviously about the report, and he got a little angry with them.
I'll take some questions.
President Biden, something the special counsel said in his report is that one of the reasons you were not charged is because, in his description, you are a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
I'm well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president. I put this country back on its feet. I don't need his recommendation. It's
How
totally
bad is your memory?
so bad I let you speak.
What the crap does that have to do with memory?
My memory is not good. My memory is fine.
For months, when you were asked about your age, you would respond with the words, "Watch me." Many American people have been watching, and they have expressed concerns about your age.
That is your judgment. That is your judgment. That is not the judgment of the
Angry
They
man.
express concerns about your mental acuity. They say that you are too old. Mr. President, in December, you told me that you believe there are many other Democrats who could defeat Donald Trump. So why does it have to be you now?
Yep. Why?
Thank you, and I'll
So yeah, you get a little testy, you get a little angry. Oh, that's your judgment. No, that's what the vast majority, 80% of them Americans think, that you're too old to be the president of the United States anymore. And just to show you proof, if you're not, if you don't know already, here's proof that yeah, he's not there anymore.
You know, initially, the president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in. I talked to him. I convinced him to open the gate. I talked to Bibi to open the gate on the Israeli side. I've been pushing really hard.
And he certainly, as Mark said...
So, you know, I don't... That little part there, I'm not going to play the rest of it because... yeah, apparently what we were all taught in geography class is wrong. Did you know that Mexico borders Israel, and that the president who he talked about there was actually the president of Egypt, but he thought it was Mexico, and that Mexico borders Israel, and that did he call Mexico and talk to their president and try to open their... I mean, that's for sure. That's what he's done. He's talked to their president. He said, "Hey, I'm going to open the border, and then you can send the humanitarian people across for the 12 million people that we can have them come across the border." So yeah, so apparently Mexico borders Israel now. Didn't know that. I thought that was Egypt. And apparently Mexico does not border the United States. It's not south of us right now. Apparently that's... Don't know countries down there, because he didn't say what it was, but there's just one little proof there. And then a few weeks ago he talked about speaking with dead presidents and chancellors, the Mitterrand from France, and then that dead chancellor from Germany that he spoke to while he was president, but they have both passed away. They're no longer with us. One in the mid-90s. Mitterrand died in the 90s. 97, 96. So, yeah. But, yeah, he's not going to stand trial or anything for any of the crap that he's done, because he's just too old. But here's what Speaker Johnson said.
Fitness for office of the president. Americans have been speaking out about the president's mental acuity and the double standards within his Justice Department. On Thursday, as you know, the special counsel confirmed that President Biden mishandled classified materials in a way that presented serious risk to national security. He broke the law, but he's not going to be charged. Why is that? Well, special counsel said that it decided not to indict the president in part because there are significant limitations on his memory, and a jury wouldn't convict him because he would be presented as, quote, an elderly man with a poor memory. That did not inspire confidence among the American people.
No, that's for sure.
Ultimately, they're indicting, remember now, the DOJ is indicting one president with politically motivated charges, and they are now carrying the water for another amid very similar allegations.
Yep. Those are the facts, Jack. But yeah, it's just astonishing. Just astonishing. I guess it's not really anymore. That's just kind of the world we live in right now, because it's ridiculous. It's upside down. And there is a two-tiered justice system, where Trump is politically being attacked, but nothing's going to happen to this old man. it's just, what are you going to do? It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating to watch. It's very frustrating to look at. It's very frustrating to talk about. But the more people know and understand what's really going on, the better I think we will be. And people, hopefully, I mean, even Democrats are waking up to this crap and we're like, this sucks. We hate what's going on. I think some either CNN or MSNBC or somebody like that went into like a barbershop, I think in Chicago, and the guys there were like, hey, yeah, we had money under Trump. Yeah, we don't have any money under Biden. So, heavily Democratic states, cities, yeah, they're understanding and they're feeling the pain. The rest of us are been saying for many, many years now. So welcome to the party. It sucks here. So let's change that here in November. We have Super Tuesday coming up. Nikki Haley got her butt kicked in Nevada, so she needs to go. I think I mentioned that last week. That came out. But just to give you a little something to laugh at here, some good feelings to end this. Let's just go over this little song that I came across here and just enjoy.
Song that is played where everybody is on the chair, everybody, going to, my mind's going blank now. What's happening? I can't remember. Lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I at? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea. Last night I was on television. I was on a telephone rapidly rising with I don't know. COVID is making more than 100 years. Look, here's why it's reflected in the NHEI. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was the first brigadier season ill-begotten gains of Putin's autocracy. NATO's purpose is a defend against aggression. Let me make that near and dear to you, and you like to be able to
hold it.
Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
I want to thank and recognize Dr. John Kingerson.
Kinga-dinga-dinga.
This song.
Yeah.
My mind's going blank now. My mind's going blank now. What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I at? I keep forgetting I'm president. What am I? No idea.
So I'll have to post that on my social so you can all download that and watch that and share it with your friends who think, oh yeah, Biden's doing a great job. So yeah, a nice little montage. Whoever did that, great job. But yeah, here we go. Great things going on right now. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the show today. Like I said, you can check out my other things, and I will post some of this other stuff on my other socials, Facebook, X, TikTok, True Social, and YouTube. Kate and Eric Show on all of those. And please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and rate them 5 stars, please. Thank you very much. And then the algorithm will do its magical little thing, and more people will be able to see it. So hopefully you have a great week. Hopefully you have a great, I was going to say Thanksgiving, but that is not correct. Great Valentine's, and I will talk with you next week. And remember, my brother's coming. We'll talk more about Putin and his take on living over in Finland. So that'll be coming up next week. Have a good one.